Yo, what's up? AMC.
Rally around the family, baby.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. What up, CFATs? Johnny, Seymour, Alex, Tess. What's up, man? Tickles, Moon Ape, Cast Gem, Chuck's Son, AP95, Wesley, Kong, Joe, Jeffrey, Matt. Bro. What the hell, bro? Point of interest. What up, Professor? What up, man? Sean. Yeah, man. Go. You already know, man. Like, subscribe, share this. Let's rally, man. Let's rally with the family. You already know. AMC is up 8% for the day, not including APE. Looking beautiful. We're gonna do it, man. We're gonna be here looking at the charts. I'm gonna pull up TradingView. We're gonna pull up Bookmap. We're gonna do both, and we're just kind of gonna look at the charts here, see what's going on, see what we can expect for the day, for the weeks coming, because this is the start of the point of interest that we've been talking about here on AMC. So end of November going into December is the point of interest. And as you can see here previously, we had a nice little rally, and then we had that news here on AMC, Amazon News. And that is part of this catalyst on the POI, and that should kick things off and start for us to start climbing back up here again soon. So you can see here with volume, let's go ahead and zoom out a bit. Look at the cycle real quick. We just entered the cycle, by the way. This is the start of the POI right here on the green portion. It's the first day that we have on this green point of interest. So, I mean, that's all we need, guys. That's all we really need to know here. And one way to confirm this, too, is remember, looking at the volume on these cycles, when the points of interest are active is when you start to see that volume kicking in, right? Right here, there's no volume. Very quick wicks that get canceled out, but that volume is starting to kick in right here on the projector for the cycle. So things are looking really good. Yeah, we're going to talk about the market too. We'll talk about everything. So let's see. All right, let's pull up. Let's pull up a couple of things here. All right, so right off the bat, what we got here is we got copy pat indicator. We got rally music in the background. We got the copy pat indicator. You can see right here we are just riding this support trend line, so the blue curve, and we're right about to cross it. So this pattern here is very familiar to me. It creates a sort of M setup before crossing down, and then there is a point of interest on this pattern that lies right around this range. So what's going to happen here, we can expect, is something like this, and then right here is either going to be a rip or it's going to be consolidation. It's going to be one or the other, just based on some of these points of interest tracking just the pattern analysis part of it. I can show you real quick where this pattern is found. We just tracked it on Shiba, and let's go on the minute chart because this was prior to the run, not the minute, 5 minute. Where is it? Right here. It's an M shape, and the point of interest lies right here on this portion of that pattern. So, and they're all going to look a little bit different, but they have a very similar goal in the end, and that is, so for example, this one you can see has so this part right here would be merged, so it looks something like this, and this is why I use, so I don't pay too much. This is the minute chart also. We have to consider that. But this is why I use a moving average. That is, I don't know why this is set to high. Let's do this. And then we're going to do a, probably like a, on the minute chart, I'm going to do a 6 real quick just to get that smoother curve. Take this out for a sec. Take out spots. And then here we get a better picture. Now, here you can kind of see it's playing out inverse, but that's really not relevant here because the point of interest will either be an identical positive point of interest or an inverse negative point of interest, which is a downside here. So that's why I'm just looking for a volatility zone right here intraday in the next couple of minutes on AMC. And then we can kind of look at the SPY on this as well, sort of look at what the market is doing based on this. But this is one of the patterns we're going to keep tracking right now. Intraday. Let's pull back AMC. As you can see, we're about to cross this blue spot curve. If we don't bounce here, then it's likely we're going to get a small breather. We just got that blue or that pink spot. Okay. Let's see what the market is doing. Okay. Also, the market is on a really nice uptrend. No pullback here. I was expecting a small pullback here on the SPY. Just a very small retracement, nothing crazy, and then hoping to, gain on some of the volatility here on some puts. But we can see here on the macro trend, we're still trailing up, and that is what we were expecting here, is hitting that 420 level by the end of the year. And that's something that, we called back here in November 8th. So everything here is trailing to cross this major level of resistance that we have back here, which is going to be right around that 410 range. I don't think we're going to stop there. I do see us, if we get close, I see us completely crossing through, and we're going to experience some kind of a fake out in the market here. I think once we cross and we reach that 420, 430 range, we will get a bigger pullback. We'll probably come back into the channel and then trade sideways for a little bit to just dry off the volatility. But right now, it is looking pretty good for the SPY that we do remain, and we do continue this trend back up, which is going to be bullish for AMC and GameStop in the end, right? We know how that works, guys. SPY goes up first, and the memes follow until we reach the high, the peak. All right, putting that handsy on. Okay, also something I've been working on here is a projection here on the copy path indicator. So we'll bring them both up here. If I can copy it. Can I copy it? Why won't it let me copy it? I guess we'll just look at it on this then. Goofy. All right. This is a copy path projection, which is really cool because it basically merges the spots indicator and then gives you a projection on what it could look like, which is really cool. I've been working on this here. I haven't merged them together just yet, but you get basically the copy path indicator, which is down here, and it's not showing up for some reason. Here it is. So you get the copy path merging with spots, and then you get both, right? You get both together, both projecting something, which gives you a better perspective here. You can see on the 2 hour, it's looking really nice. It's looking, and this just updated today based on the trend. But you can see here that we just crossed blue spot, kept going up, and now if we come back down and get rejected here, cross again, pink spot, reverse back up, and then get ready to touch that 410 range. So this looks pretty good to me, but it's not trusting this indicator 1000% completely or anything. It's just giving you a better perspective on what we could possibly expect. Every time frame you pick is going to look different. 3 hour you can see here looks a little bit different. 1 hour is going to look different as well. I mean, they're all going to, it's just different variations of historical patterns, just spitting out a forecast here for you. So if you want more information on this, click the link below, head on to the website, and sign up for the indicators, man. All right? Okay, cool. Getting rejected off of... Yep, we just got rejected here, so it's an inverse. However, this is not bad here for AMC. We are creating a short-term parabolic arc. We zoom out a little bit, go on the 3 minute. You can see technically is... All right, let's see where we can pull this one up to. This one here we find as well. We can find it on AMC. Let's go. So what we do here, guys, pattern analysis is just looking up historical patterns instead of having to draw, you know, resistance and support trend lines. Why not just go back in time, get yourself a pattern, and use it as reference? It's a hack. It's a hack, dude. You're hacking the system. Don't let them play you, bro. Here's one. Intraday. Oh, dude, it's gonna do that. It's AMC's chart. It's gonna paste it all the way back here. Okay. Look at that. Copy paste match right here. First match at least. It's like perfect too. I like this one. And I think we're going to stick to this one for now and go from here. But you can see how this just continues to go up. Same exact pattern. I mean, the ratio levels are identical here. So until this stops tracking, we'll use something else. But I think for now, I like this one. And another variation of this same pattern is that it does fall through and continue to come back down. And I think GameStop did something like this a little bit ago too. So we can use GameStop as reference since we do track GameStop as well. You can see GameStop is a little bit higher actually, but it happened here in September. So it's almost the same, except it does go down instead. So I don't think we'll quite do that, but... So here's GameStop's. Right here you can see it's a little different. It's inverse right around this range. Actually, it's the same pattern, just inverse right here. So we can now spot, based on patterns, pattern analysis, we can spot an inverse or identical volatility zone right around this range. And you can see for a little bit here, it's just projecting just sideways trading, which kind of makes sense. You know, we do have a day off. Tomorrow following Thanksgiving. So, you know, markets might be prepping for just a little bit of a theta crush here before the volatility kicks in after. We have seen, you know, on days where there is a holiday in the markets, AMC typically goes up after, you know, that 1 3-day weekend, or even Thanksgiving. I believe last Thanksgiving we did not rally. We had an inverse point of interest before, and that's not something that we want to see. But you know, it is on the table. But I do see a more bullish outlook here on AMC. We're still following this volume, guys, is what's important here. This is what normally kicks things off. Okay, but you don't just get a massive rally following the volume here. It does take a couple days to play out. So. This is why I'm saying I'm calling for just a little bit of sideways trading and consolidation before we do climb back up again. This is still valid because it's a moving average. So as long as these candles get start coming back up, the average should still be pretty accurate. Here's GameStop's though. So they're both both pretty accurate here. So far, I think we're tracking GameStop's a little better now. There we go. All right, we'll keep them both up, man. We'll keep them both up. Okay. How's GameStop looking? All right, so GameStop, we did complete the wedge I talked about. Okay. Got rejected off of this line here. And watch this, dude. This is the Shiba pattern that we were tracking here. And you can see that up to this point right here, I mean, this is where we're at right now. It's still calling for a little bit of downside. GameStop is going to track a little bit off here with, you know, the news here is not going to affect GameStop the same way. We are down. GameStop is down 0.23%. AMC is up 7%. That's not counting APE. Let's actually look at APE too. How's APE doing? Yeah, APE is down today. Why is APE down? What the hell? Interesting. Unless I missed that, this is really weird. And it's also very weird that following the news, you get a massive dump in the markets. Watch this, dude. If I can pull up the tweet, I think this might make a little bit more sense here, but let's pull up that tweet and sort of understand the timing here. Amazon plans to invest $1 billion a year in cinemas. Bloomberg. When did that come out? That was, I believe it was maybe an hour ago, but I want to get the timing here correct. Okay. Yo, if you guys have the link, actually, wait, Professor, you posted the link on Discord, so I want to get the timing on this. This was 10:44, and I'm going to copy this tweet and put it up here so we can see this. AMC. All right, watch this shit. This is crazy, dude. This is fucking crazy. Spy. Watch, dude. You want to know how manipulated the markets are, dude? Watch this. Tweet. Paste the link. Okay. AMC. Watch this, dude. Watch this. Let's go on the what? Let's go on the fucking like 10-second here, just to get like the timing. Look at this shit. Amazon plans to invest $1 billion a year in movie for cinemas. AMC, Amazon. AMC rallies, right? Here, we got it like 10 seconds prior, and then look at what the SPY does. From that moment on, takes a massive dip. Like the market here, guys, the entire market goes from 402 all the way down to 399. This is a big move on the US stock market. The US stock market. All right. This isn't any other stock. This is the U.S. S&P 500 goes down as soon as we get that news here. So it just shows, like, if this doesn't scream manipulation here, the fact that this right here lines up, this news, this catalyst that is starting this point of interest here, lines up with the December point of interest. These guys know the timing here, okay? It's like, let's release this catalyst right here right before the market is going to dump. Why not do that so that we can cover some shares and then bring it back down, right? But now you're experiencing this effect right now, okay? The short-term effect where there's a fake out. They use that again to sort of shake off everybody here as they are bringing the price up and down. It's just shake. I mean, dude, come on. You're gonna release it like this close to the dump? Look at this, bro. This is crazy, man. SPY's literally doing okay, and then boom. All right, a minute later, SPY starts dumping. It's manipulation, bro. Manipulation to the max. They're not even hiding it at this point. They're just like, yeah, dude, let's just dump it. That's basically what's happening. Okay. All right, let's look at the pattern again. I think we are following GameStop's a little bit better. Here's AMC's, and then here's GameStop's. Yeah, GameStop's is definitely following a little better right here. Okay, one level to track right around 772. Might see a potential push back up here. Bottom levels to track are going to be 750 if this does decide to continue and follow this, right? But we know that both of these together, okay, we're looking for some kind of a push here around 1:30 Central, 2:30 Eastern time is when we expect some kind of movement here on AMC based on just these patterns. Also, you know, the option chain did add those half intervals for, I believe, 850 all the way through 1350 for December 16th. That was on Monday that happened. So volatility is definitely behaving a little bit odd, a little bit weird, kind of like what we saw back in March. So that's also a thing to consider with AMC's price action right now. The fact that we are going up, the fact that things are happening the way they are, is just, I mean, why are they adding these options for those dates? You know, trying to hedge, bro. They're trying to hedge for those positions. You want to know some support levels, man? Let's look at some support levels, macro support levels on AMC. Sure. All right, so we're gonna look at the 3-hour here for some levels. Look at this, dude. Before I go over the levels, so if you guys are not familiar with the spots indicator, it does a really good job at projecting some of these moves that happen based on the spot that you receive here on the inverse color. So, you know, when you have a pink curve, I guess we'll do a little demonstration here before. So there's two versions of this. There is a blue curve down here, and then there's a pink curve. Actually, these are, no, yeah, they're the right typically this is what they're going to look like. Okay. Got a pink curve and then a blue curve. And normally what happens is, well, the stock price is moving. Whenever you get that cross on these curves, you're going to get the inverse color. So here you're going to get a blue spot. So we'll make a nice little blue spot there. Okay. And when you get that blue spot, it normally indicates that there is a strong correlation for upside. And this is just using cycle parameters. So that's why it's, works according to the time frame that you use on the cycle that you're tracking. So for AMC, I use the 3 hour a lot. I think it's the most accurate. Whenever there's a lot of saturation, so when you see a lot of spots, it's best to just hold back and let the waves ride. It's normally going to act as some kind of level of support or resistance, depending on where you are in the charts. So, for example, here, you get your blue cross, pink cross comes down, blue cross starts rallying back up, and then the cool thing here is that that's the indicator, that's the buy, right? And then the level of support is going to be that curved trend line here. So the blue curved trend line acts as support, and then whenever you cross it pink, that's an indication that it's going to start coming back down. Okay, it's all the way through. The shorter the cross, the bigger the run, the better the run. So you can see right here why I'm pretty bullish on this. It's because this is such a short curve. Okay, it's a short pink curve, and we're about to cross blue on the 3 hour. Look how close we are. I think we briefly crossed it here for a second, and then it got rejected back down. But I think within the next hour, we should cross this. What's the 3 hour? But as soon as this thing starts moving back up, we're probably going to cross this, and then things are going to look pretty bullish here in the short term for AMC. Okay. Let's look at some levels. Let's pull up AMC plus APE 2 for this. All right, so I talked about the absolute bottom here that I think, based on this point of interest that we're tracking here, the bottom that the levels that we were tracking here for a possible short back down would be 650, and we would have to be rejected off right here and come back down. It's still possible. I think we still have time to start climbing back up for the December POI closer to Monday. I think that's still a possibility, but things would kind of have to happen right now. And if we don't get that, if we get a cross here and a continuation, it's very likely that this is the start of the projector pattern, and we won't have a rejection until we get up to this next level here at 10, right? So that's the first step here. We're going to make a little projector up to 10, come back down, and then set up to go here and make a larger projector up to that $14 level. Okay, and this is going to be right here a massive move here on AMC. Now, what this could create in the end is a sort of a Bitcoin setup where you use Elliott wave theory for this, and it's a short term setup, but I'm just looking at it based on the current tracking and what we can expect on these levels. So resistance and support, this looks really good to me. I don't see us squeezing here. Okay, I've said that before. I see this as a level of resistance. Okay, so it's a nice rally. Okay, from the bottom, it's almost a 200% rally. But from the current levels that we're trading at is going to be about a 100% move if all goes well, if all plays out, positive POI. Okay, and then we have a retracement here in December. Right here, it's very likely we're going to trade sideways for a while until we reach the next point of interest in February. And I'm not going to change that that mindset or that right now, because I like to do it, play things out day by day, just based on what we've seen happen with AMC before. There's really no other way to look at it right now. I think this is the best setup here. So let's go ahead and pull up that here, Elliott wave. Impulse. It's an impulse wave. So we got our 1. 2 is going to be the biggest one. Possible rejection right here, and then 5 right there. Something like this is what I would expect for AMC right here. And it's not always the case that you get, you know, within this Elliott wave, you also have larger waves. So you can have one like this. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Maybe it's a little bit smaller. 3 is always the biggest, right? So within this one wave, you have a larger wave. And then I think this would be pretty ideal for AMC once we do reach that, you know, why I don't want to get ahead of myself. I do believe that once we get to the February POI, if we did cross that $30 range, it would be very likely that they would just let this thing go because it's harder to stop the momentum once you are trading above those levels. So it'd be a lot harder to do that. But again, we're not there yet, so I'm not going to get ahead of myself. If you do want to track this setup, however, the megaphone, which is something that I've already put out, it's on TradingView. You can track it every day. It's on the website. You can track it on the website every day as well. But it's this setup right here, and it's following a movement down here. It's a similar setup to the projector that we're expecting, but you can kind of see that here with the projector pattern, right? We're expecting some upside right around this range. We start going up, we trade sideways for a little bit, and then we climb up until about December 16th before going back down, okay? And then this is a little projector. Right here. Okay, something like that. In this case, is not as big, but it's still going to be a projector in the end. Okay. John, I don't see the MOAS through the end of the year. I could be wrong, but I think it's a gradual move up until you get to a point where you can't suppress the volume anymore. And I don't think we're quite there yet. I think we need to build this pressure to the upside first, and I think we're going to do that soon. I think we're starting to do that here on this point of interest that we have here in December. But we're not there yet. Think about it this way. Like, sure, one could look, and we did this yesterday too. You can take this if you want to. You can take this setup here, and I guarantee you it's going to look extremely similar to the current projector that we're in right now. We're technically in a projector. You can pull this up right here, and it shows you how accurate these levels are, right? But this doesn't mean that because we have a projector here that we're going to do the exact same move that we experienced back here. It normally doesn't work like that on AMC. I'm not saying this is impossible, but I think because of the way we were rejected back here, if we're trying to reach new highs, not the same highs, but new highs, normally what happens is you create a bigger version of that previous projector. Okay, and we've done this every single projector that we've seen here in November, January, and then also May. So this one is going to look a little bigger. I think it's going to look like this. Okay, and then once we get up here, we start climbing back up. Right? That's when we can probably experience a bigger push up. And if you zoom out, say you go on the weekly chart, here is when you kind of look at it this way. Wonder if we still have... No, let's pull it up. We don't have it yet. Let's just pull up this, because I don't want to... Yeah, we'll do something like this. So if we took this projector right here and we just got it from the bottom to the top to the peak, you can kind of see how obviously it's not the same pattern. I'm not trying to show you the same pattern, but I'm trying to show you a little bit of how projectors act on different time frames. So clearly this is a short time frame here, and a 10-day, fractal here that we're using to compare it to the weekly, the 3-day time frame here on AMC. You can see we're in a projector pattern. This can also be Elliott wave 1, then you have 3, and then 5, right? So 3, 4, 5, whatever. And I'm not going to get to the levels or anything, but I'm just trying to show you how this fractal sort of behaves on here, and I think it's something similar. We've been expecting a projector pattern here for a little while, so I think if we do start climbing back up, it's gonna be gradual, right? It's gonna be slow, and then we'll reach the levels that we expect right around. Hopefully in February is when I'm expecting the bigger push, but it could drag out a little bit longer as well. I think at this point, it's better to just take a step back and then understand that these moves definitely have a correlation of happening on the points of interest that we track here, and that's important to know. I don't think it's not that I don't think there hasn't been a point of interest here that has not played out on the green portion of the cycle. So it's, if things are going to keep tracking that way, it's just narrowing down those possibilities by spotting and tracking the points of interest here, and that's it. And then we go from there. Every move that we get, it's going to be a nice move. Here, we're expecting 100%. If we get 100%, well, now we know that's 3 in a row right here. And then these previous points of interest that we've had back here have been inverse. So a lot of what's going on here is just projecting and confirming that the next points of interest will be tracking as well until it breaks, dude. If it breaks, then we'll stop tracking it. We won't do that anymore, right? But it hasn't broken yet, so I'm gonna keep tracking it. The AMC is looking pretty good, man, right now. See, it's like starting to get that next leg up here. I'm trying to see what other patterns we can track here based on this current setup. Here's your lovely AMC fractal as well, calling for a pretty big push up here. If you use, this was what I used to track the megaphone setup, which is just the fractal back here, and it's pulling everything back from here. It's probably a little bigger, and you can see how this level here is pretty accurate. I mean, we're right here, and it's starting to show us some upside. So we're straying away from the ARPA pattern, which is good. You don't want to be in the ARPA pattern, because the ARPA pattern was clearly calling for downside, even though this entire setup here was, spotting and pointing out all of these run-ups and all these points of interest very accurately. But you can see right here, you're sort of straying away from what is this point of interest here. Right here, right? You're straying away from it a little bit, which is good. Another way to look at this is heading on over to the SPY and looking at the 08 fractal that everybody was tracking, right? That's inverse now, dude. Look at this. I mean, just look at it, dude. It's inverse. We're not tracking it anymore. Massive gap. Sure, we had a little bit of a gap here, but it got completely canceled out. Some of them will play out inverse. But right here, it's a clear, I mean, this is a big gap. There's no correlation with this anymore. And I don't think people should track this because it's just not accurate. It was accurate for a little bit, but I think it's too good to be true, man. This is just, it's too predictable, I think, to use and look back at 08 as if things are the same right now. I think it's a different it's just a different setup, man. So, you know, in between, sure, you can have micro pullbacks. You know, I was expecting a bit of a pullback here before we started running back up, and that didn't happen. We had a continuation right around this, or right here. I'm like pulling over here now. We had a continuation right here, started to climb back up. So no pullback at all. We're just trading on this range, and we're getting ready to touch the 410 range. Touch it, and then maybe a small pullback here, but I see a continuation to 420, 430 before the end of the year at this rate. I think that the SPY is pushing up very quickly, and it's not stopping. So I think it's been trapping a lot of bears here that are looking for a crash. I don't think we're gonna get a crash right now. Not right now. Oh, yeah. I am running a promo. If you guys want to join the Discord, it's 50% off for Black Friday. So if you guys want to join up, make sure you click the link below and get a half-off deal, man, for the holidays. All right, let me also pull up my lovely Bookmap, because I want to see what intraday. Now that we actually, this is going to be a really interesting thing to look at Bookmap right now because of volume. When we get, the thing about Bookmap is that it tracks, you want to track intraday stuff with Bookmap, not necessarily tracking the macro picture. I think that's where I pull up the charts and actually look at what's going on. But intraday stuff, Bookmap does a really good job at telling you a little bit about what the market is going to do and what it can do, because it shows you the bid and the ask. It shows you a heat map of it. You can kind of project what the next moves are going to be based on the heat map before they happen. That's why this is amazing for scalp trades and stuff like that. I use this a lot for that. So now that we're kind of settled here, we understand a little bit of what AMC is going to do. Let's pull up Bookmap here and show you guys a little bit of what I'm expecting here soon. Look, AMC. All right, awesome. Okay. Trying to view away for a sec. Let's take a look at Bookmap here. So these are my settings, very specific settings I use to track some of these movements. And you can see here why I told people last time, when you are using Bookmap, it's important to track every individual stock, including indices, a little bit differently, because volume is not going to behave the same throughout the entire market. I think some stocks, clearly the ones that are more manipulated than others, are going to trick you in the way some of the volume here is displayed. Also, the way the candles look can be very tricky. So again, this is more for intraday trading and, you know, scalp traders. But basically what's going on here is you have your bid and your ask being displayed. You have a historical view of this, and you can change the settings to actually look at larger spreads here. So you can look at what's going on up here, down here, and it'll show you the big buyers that are looking to buy at a certain range and the big sellers that are looking to sell at a certain range. And what that sort of does is, well, you get a little bit more, kind of like a volume profile a little bit, but, you know, real time, in that these guys have the data to show historical and future data combined together, which is something that you don't get with volume profile. Volume profile shows you the historical data. And, you know, this is why I love Bookmap, man. It's showing you all that nice, all that good. So if you can see right now, we are getting a little bit of downside. Let's just pull up the intraday here chart so I can show you a little bit better what we probably will be expecting now that we are getting a bit of a pullback. And let's track something here real quick. Let's track the pattern that we were just doing, which is I like to go back and track patterns and see how we're doing. So it's been about 30 minutes since we pulled up GameStop pattern here. Okay, so here's GameStop, still tracking pretty nicely, and then AMC, you're starting to see it stray away a little bit. So right now we're going to stick to this pattern right here, which is GameStop's pattern. Just trading sideways. There's also there's other variations of this pattern. Sometimes you do see it complete the sequence and come all the way back down. Now, I'm going to show you something because I think this will be relevant here. I'll show you one more version of this pattern, and this version is bearish at first, but then it's extremely bullish. And I use this. This is probably my favorite version of this pattern. It's way back here in November, right here. You can see it looks a little different. It's obviously more spread out, but it's got the same goal. So this one might be the most accurate. And obviously it's calling for a heavy push, but I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at just the volatility zone here, guys. It's actually, this might be the most accurate one here right now, based on this current trend. So right around here is the way I would look at it here. One way to spot this and sort of know what the pattern, how the pattern is tracking is, you can clearly see there's a mid zone right here, mid phase. It's a cup, starts riding back down. You have your first pullback, continuation back up, first pullback, continuation back up, and then a short. Here's a short, right? So if you line these all up together, what they have in common, okay, here is that the point of interest is there. They all have the point of interest, and the point of interest again is right here. One is going up while the other one is going down. Okay, so that's clear. It's very clear that we're getting something here. And you know what? You know what's even crazier? What do we have going on right here? We have minutes, Fed minutes. That's at 2 p.m. Eastern time, which is here in the next, very soon. So if we have that right here going into it, look at this. 3 o'clock is when we really start to see that pressure here. So we might see something here in the markets coming to it. So it's going to be an interesting approach here. In the markets, right? Not only in the markets, but especially AMC. Especially if we come back down and completely follow this up to this point at 2 o'clock. Imagine if AMC were to just start to rally right around this point. Again, not expecting a push like this, so I would don't track this expecting a move to 10. Not saying that's impossible, but all this is doing is tracking a volatility zone. That's it. That is it. Reference. What do I feel about the Fed talk here? Well, based on the charts, the fact that we're extremely close to resistance, to me it seems like we're going to get a continuation to the upside. I was expecting a small pullback to around the 385, right around So prior to right around here is when I was expecting a full pullback to 385. But clearly here we got a continuation back up, which on the macro picture I'm for, because we were calling for 420 by the end of the year, and that's currently playing out. So now that we're here, it just seems a little bit weird that we would get a pullback, like a full pullback to 385. It's possible, but I think that since the SPY has already created this these high premiums for calls, they might as well just keep it going up and then not pull it back until we get to that 410 or 420 range. So it'll be interesting to see what they say, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a definitely kind of a gamble right here, just based on where the SPY is trading. I think it is a gamble. We'll see. Let's see. Speculation that Disney buys AMC. Hey, that could be the ultimate catalyst. I mean, dude, if Disney bought AMC, yeah, we would definitely rally. I mean, that would be a monopoly for one, a massive monopoly there. If Disney were to take over, because now they have basically full control. But think about what the limitations on that. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it would be a interesting catalyst. But think about everything else it would limit. Because what if they were limited to only Disney movies? That would be a little sus. I don't know. That's an interesting theory, but how would you go about that? Man? What about HBO? What about Paramount? What about all these other companies? Netflix? What are they going to do? Actually, now that I think about that, would that be legal? I don't know if that would be legal, man. That would be some pretty hardcore monopoly shit. A partnership. Yeah, I mean, if there was a partnership, there should be a partnership. There should be a partnership with all streaming services, not just Disney. If there was this part, like if there was some kind of a, well, I mean, I think we're coming close. I think to something like that, because there are going to be those people that prefer watching movies at the movie theater and not watching movies at home. And I think we're starting to see that a little bit more now with some of the streaming companies. We're starting to see some of the movies being played at the movie theater, because I don't think people we know now that something that these hedgies didn't know for a while, but we know that people still want to go to the movies. People still want to have that experience of going out and watching a movie, not just streaming things at home. What's the fun in that? So definitely diversify a little bit would be ideal here with AMC. Get all these services, all these streaming services up in. Yeah, and we still have Avatar too, man. Avatar is a thing. Ooh, ooh, Amy, stop teasing me right now. Why are you looking so good? Starting to come back up. I'm about to see some, let's see, pattern. Here's this one, and then here we got GME. Here's AMC. Kind of like AMC's a little bit now. Maybe start to experience a little bit of upside. We can also see something like this. We can see something like this too. It's basically a bigger version of what I just showed you back here on this. Except this part here is extended a little bit. But yeah, let's keep that brush there. That might play out. XLF, what's the date for your December POI? There's no specific date. It's a range. It's about a 10-day range. End of November going into December. Really anywhere starting next week on Monday going to mid-December time. So around the 13th of December, I would say right around that range is when we would experience that volatility. Right now, it's not playing out inverse, no. Right now, it's playing out identical, which is good because it's the trend here that we've seen right now is one cycle plays out, it's positive POI, and then you get a breather cycle, and then another positive POI, breather cycle, and then hopefully another positive POI. That's the trend that we've seen so far coming down from this last cycle. So, and let's see, I have it right here as well. So starting right off here. So as soon as we came into this channel, because remember, this is where we had, here, I'm going to pull up AMC plus APE for this. Where's the parallel channel? Parallel zone, here it is. Okay. So, it's going to look a little weird. I don't know if you guys can even see this. Yeah, you can see it. So right here is when we entered this this new cycle, this new zone. As soon as we had this inverse POI, because here we were on a pennant, and we broke down. This was coming from the $40 range, we fell all the way back down to 15. So we basically cut the price almost in thirds. And then we started trading on this parallel zone, and we're currently basically riding this new, what is this new parallel channel down here. It's like a new cycle, basically. So starting from this cycle, you can see the trend here. One cycle is just stagnant, then you have a positive POI. Another cycle is stagnant, then you have a positive POI. This same thing, stagnant, and then hopefully a positive POI. So we will very likely, I'm going to say likely, experience a positive POI here too. Okay, let's see here on this trend. Now this, I'm using AMC plus APE for this because you're not going to get the same parallel levels or the same parallel channel levels here that you're seeing, this blue channel, on AMC's chart, because it has a different scaling. So that's why we use that. But coming back to the regular chart here, now you can see where the volume lies to on the point of interest. This is to all you who don't believe that things happen on the point of interest here, man. That they don't happen on the point of interest. Come on. All right, we are entering it right here today. We entered it today. So excited for this. I think this is going to be good. I think we're going to see another run. We're starting to see it already. So nice little volume coming in. Let's see how the PFV indicator is looking. The 6 hour. Is it not showing up? Oh, here it is. It is showing up. Oh no. Okay, watch this too, man. You guys see the PFV indicator here is just normalizing the volume using what am I thinking about? Using standard deviations and making it so that you can clearly see how the volume behaves according to the levels that are being traded. So, you know, when you have very similar volume, but you're trading it at different levels, you kind of want to see that volume times price, and that's going to show you that it's going to be pretty, it's pretty straightforward. You want to know the volume being traded. If it was being traded at $1 and you had $1 billion in volume, how does that compare to, you know, half a billion here trading at 3 times the price, right? So you want to multiply that and then get the standard deviation, and this is what this indicator is showing us here. You can see here that based on this current trend, okay, what do we have? We're about to cross it, okay, and once you cross this, it's a pretty bullish run here. We have more volume trading at this range, which we probably will if we're trying to get up to that $14 range from $5. I think it's a heftier push. It's 200 from the bottom. So this push itself from the bottom would be greater than March, and it would be greater than August. So, you know, if it's going to be greater, it's very likely that the volume is also going to be greater. You're going to need more volume for that to happen. And you can see here, see if I can pull up the parallel channel I had before. Dude, why are these always just... Let's just change it. There we go. Here's the parallel channel. And for this, I'm going to take out the wicks. I don't like the wicks, man. Get your wicks out of here. There we go. A lot better. Actually, first what I do on the parallel channels is 2 things. So we're going to look at the moving average, can smooth it out average here, and that's where we line up the highs and the lows here. Okay, because there's still a bit of range that you can track. Okay, but I'd say right around there is pretty ideal to me. Or this. Right around there. I'll take it out. Here we go. And we're right here. Right, so on a parallel channel, once you enter that parallel channel, you're just bouncing off the walls. That's what you're doing. So if we're going to bounce here, we clearly got the bounce on the bottom. What's next? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So here, we can expect a push back up. And that's what I've been calling for. I've been calling for the $14 range. Right around that range, right? It can be anywhere between 13 and 20 if we get a massive wick and then followed by a, correction back down. We had the same thing happen back here, guys, on the AMC plus APE chart, the original AMC chart. We hit a wick all the way up to 35, and then it got rejected very quickly. So that's still a possibility here. I think once volatility does kick in, you're going to see a push. You're going to see a bigger push. But I think this is the best way to look at it. Look at the parallel channel here, bouncing off of walls, and then also look at this trend here. And the craziest part, and what I like to look at here, is taking this all the way back from the June run-up. June run-up here, taking a trend line back down, and you can see that there's clearly a trend here hitting the highs as it comes closer to breaking out. You know, once it breaks out, man, I'm telling you, it's going to be a nice little bullish run. AMC, also GME has this. Looks a little different, but GME also has it. Okay, right there. See? They all have it. GME's is found here on the 24th of August. And it's a trend line all the way back down here. Looking across it. Have a nice run. Why isn't APE moving? That is a great question. That is a really good question. It's not moving because it's not moving, man. It's, you know, we're starting to see that separation. We're slowly starting to see that separation, I think. And it was something that I was afraid of, but I was expecting too. Like, APE is not meant to... I think APE itself is there for a reason, and I think Adam made that very clear, that it's to raise capital. So I think knowing that, you never know what's going on behind the doors here with APE. I mean, if they're selling slowly and then they're, you know, like, that's going to just be displayed here on the charts, and not just AMC itself, but all these other corporations using this against that can affect it very well. You know, this is AMC's other half, you know, and it's being treated a very specific way right now. And I think it's important to understand that, well, the fact that it is trailing back down while AMC is up is a little bit weird. We haven't quite seen this happen. I think once you do get a trend, either trend going up, you don't really see the inverse effect on the other stock. And I think what we're getting right now is the inverse effect, which is a little bit weird. Let's see. So this is what I mean by this, guys. So here, even though APE was clearly going up, AMC remained trading sideways. It wasn't going down. That's okay. But here we have the complete opposite happening. This is inverse. It's trading inverse. Okay, and again, haven't really quite seen this happen before, or at least much, following a downtrend. So we're just gonna have to see what goes down. But you know, APE is definitely going down to the dollar range. And I will say this: look, on APE itself, because you know we're tracking AMC here, but APE is getting very close to that dollar range level. And I've said this to other people on other stocks like Atarian or Mullen even, that once you do get very close to that dollar range, it is a psychological level, but it becomes easier to break it too. So it's going to be important here that if things don't reverse very quickly, at least for APE itself, I'm not talking about AMC, that they might stray away once it does cross below that dollar level. And, you know, I'm not going to get into why this is happening because nobody can really tell you that, or at least again, we know what they're using APE for, or what Adam says he's using APE for, but there's a deeper meaning to it in the end as to why this is happening, right? You can look at the fundamentals part of it. You can also look at the manipulation and the cycle part of it. And we're learning more and more day by day. And right now, what I can tell you is that it's tracking inverse. It is tracking inverse, which is weird. I wasn't looking at APE really as much as I was looking at AMC today, so it was a little bit weird that I caught it completely trading inverse. I thought they were trailing the same way up, open the charts, and boom, this thing is down. So it is a little weird. A lot of volume too on APE. A lot of volume. All right, let's look at... Okay, Bookmap is looking pretty good. All right, so we are starting to get a little bit more volume here on the futures side of it. You can look at it as future bid and ask here. Starting to get a little bit more on the heat map up on this range. So normally what that indicates here is some upside here, at least it gravitating back up. What you do want to see though is a little bit more red. So the fact that it's yellow here, it's still very dim, very light. You can change the settings here. Again, we can kind of change them a little bit here so I can show you. You can make the volume dots here a little bit bigger too. Let's see. Settings. No, not that. All right, heat map settings. You can play around with it. Again, the cutoff is going to show you certain levels that you do want to cut off if you don't want to see too much of the data, if it's too saturated. You can also change and aggregate the charts. This will like clump them up together too, which is nice. And then there is a lot of other things in here that we can use. Let's go ahead and I'm going to do advanced settings real quick because I want to see something here real quick. Just looking at. No, let's not look at the. Let's not look at. These are my settings, by the way, that I use here for the heat map here. I like it a lot more. I don't like to see so much of what's going on up here. I like to see what's happening right now, like right now. This is why I'm saying with scalps. If you are one of those traders that likes to get in and out very quickly, it's really looking at this and not so much of what's happening right up here. Now, if you're trying to have more of like a swing trade look into it, then I would be tracking the data that's happening back up here and on the lower range as well. But you can see right here, look how much volume is kicking in, right? We're starting to see that a lot more red here on the bottom, big volume dots, and the price is gravitating back down. So there's still a lot of red here, which is indicating some downside. Until you start to see more of like a stutter effect up here, so it just blinks very quickly, then that sort of indicates that the price is going to start trailing back up. But right now we're starting to see more here on the bottom. So also I recommend you do have a pretty decent processor for this, because it will use up a lot of it, a lot of your data on the computer. So it's recommended that it can handle it here, because I mean, think about it, this data is coming in very quickly. It's using API from, you can choose your API system here that is feeding this data, but it's very quick. These are ticks. It doesn't quite work the same way as minute or second candles. It's by tick, it's by buyer. As soon as the buy comes in, it's going to show it here. And that's something that you don't see on traditional charts, why I really like this setup. If you do want more information on this, you want to sign up, I do have a nice little coupon on the bottom, and you can get 50% off using that. So it's a nice little deal that I have with these guys. So if you want to check it out, man, click the link below. It's pretty nice stuff here on Bookmap. Okay. All right, let's see. AMC's coming down a little bit. is this one right here. You can start to see it play out inverse right here. Bit of inverse price action. And then what's the other pattern at? Oh, here it is. So it does seem like it's tracking this one a little bit more. I'm trying to line these points of interest here a little bit. See, we're like right here, right now. All right, minutes come out here in 5. So that's going to be fun. Should we take a look at the SPY for this or what? Pull them up together, have 2 charts. What do you guys think the SPY is going to do? I'm actually curious. Let's do a little poll here. How do we do this? Oh, shoot. I'm going to call it minutes, and then the first is going to be... Yeah, we'll just do green and red. I want to know what people think. I'm curious. Minutes, green, red. Vote. Vote on that poll. Green, green. Ooh, we got some greeners. Oh, 82% green. All right, we'll give that like 5 minutes. I want to know what everybody thinks. Maybe not 5 minutes, like a minute. We got 5 minutes till minutes here. I will say, I'm going to say this right here, dude. If you flip the charts, we have a interesting projector setting up here on the SPY, which is, I don't know, man. Okay, hold up. I'm going to pull this up here, show you guys where we can find this. It's on crypto. That's the thing. Found it on Doge the other day. Right here. You can clearly see it on Doge. Like, it's not even like a question, bro. Look at this. Bro, look at that shit. It's the same thing. Maybe this will tell us a little bit about what the SPY is going to do here. Wow, look at the accuracy here, guys. Look at this shit. I'm telling you, bro. Patterns? You don't get... It does not get better than this. Look at how accurate these levels are. I just pulled this up, man, with Doge. Look at that. Bro, I'm telling you, man. Pattern analysis is superior. Superior. Now, okay. Something to track here, based on this move, is... It is... currently inverse right here, and this is where it's very important to be careful, because you know a pattern might be tracking one way, and then as soon as it stops tracking, you can clearly see here it's inverse. Like, even the level here is accurate here on how inverse it is. So who knows, maybe I do expect noise here because of minutes, but the overall pattern itself is projecting either some nice upside or some nice downside, obviously. What's going to happen first, though, is the real question here. Seems to have a little bit more volatility towards the end of the day, right over here. But we'll minimize these for now and come back to them as reference. All right, we got 44 votes, and we have green 68% and red 32%. So most of you think it's green. You know, I think I might pull up. I want to see what. You know what? I think we're going to pull up Bookmap for this because for things like this, guys, these bigger moves sometimes, like I'm telling you, dude, Bookmap is freaking superior. So let's do that. Let's pull up Bookmap. And for now, here, since we do have just 1 minute left till it comes out, we can really get intimate here and see what's going to happen. All right, we're hitting that 1 o'clock here in like freaking like 20 seconds. This is the SPY we're looking at. Let's see what we get. We got a red candle right here, so that's interesting. Let's see if this projects anything. All right, 3 is coming in. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Oh. Oh, there's green. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, massive push up first. I normally let the beginning here sort of play out and do its thing because it's a fake out. Yep, there's the fake out. Oof. Okay, up and then down. Fake out. Treating it like freaking Bitcoin here, dude. Playing out the Bitcoin shit. This is why you gotta love Bookmap. You're not gonna get this on TradingView. Like, you're just not. They gotta get on that shit if they want this. But look at this. Look at how it's behaving here, and the data that you're getting. It's just superior, bro. Obviously, here it's not like a matter of scalping. It's just a matter of really understanding how these big dots are behaving here, because it's so quick. It's so quick the way this is happening. Yeah, when it's by tick data, holy shit, dude. We're talking like millisecond here, and how fast. Look at how fucking fast this is, dude. What the hell, bro? All right, big red. Yo, this is cool. Yeah, like, yo, watch this, dude. Bookmap versus Bookmap versus TradingView. What you get? All right, let's pull up TradingView. Look, TradingView is right above it. So here's Bookmap right below. You get the tick chart, which is not in seconds. It's ticks, so it can be way faster than seconds. Way faster. You get the millisecond. And then you got TradingView. Unless you got data. I do have premium, so I can show you the 1 second. But even the 1 second doesn't compare. Again, because it's every second that you're getting this data. With Bookmap, you can get the millisecond, bro, on this shit. Like, the millisecond, man. Millisecond. Let's change these bars. Values of these bars. Oof, nice green candle there. All right, so it's starting to come back up again. AMC's looking pretty good. It's like it wants to bounce back up. You're starting to see more volume coming in. A lot more green involved. But definitely starting to see some nice pressure here on the SPY. Bullish pressure. All right. So, oh, that's why I was looking at the chart inverse. Ha, that's funny. Here we go. All right, take a look at this again one more time. This is what we got. AMC's looking pretty good. It's starting to climb back up. No, you can technically look at it like this too, man. That also matches with this downside here and then a point of interest right here. So we'll see. Yeah, not calling for these levels at all, but I would see some nice upside here. Potentially the 850 if things do start to continue going back up. And that's what we got for AMC today. It's really, you know, it's nice that we're starting to get bullish pressure back in on AMC since we are on the point of interest. We're entering it. So what I'm going to do now that we sort of understand here what the market is trailing to do, and we are seeing some more bullish upside here, I give it normally about 30 minutes before anything is confirmed because a lot of the times we see this first move here be a fake out. So I'm not going to get too optimistic just yet, but this is looking good so far. So we'll leave it there for today, and I will see you guys probably on Friday. Hope everybody has an awesome Thanksgiving. And again, I'm going to say this one more time, but if you do want to sign up, I do have a Black Friday sale going on here on the Discord, 50% off. So hop on that website and join the squad. All right. See you guys next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Love you.